Youth and family and parents. It is Miss Abby, and I am coming to you on our cold days in January. And I just wanted to give a fast video update in case you haven't been around the last couple Sundays or Wednesdays on summer mission opportunities for youth. So I'm going to break this video into two parts so that if you have younger students, confirmation, middle school age, you can just check out the first part of it. If you've got older students like high school age, you can just check out the second part of it. Or if you've got both, you can kind of see what's going on. So for this first part, it's going to be for everybody. Hopefully in December, you got a little Christmas card and a little note about some upcoming things. A lot of the mission trip stuff came to me like the week of Christmas, like December 20th, 21st. And so it was really kind of fast to try to get that information in your hands. The good news is that the deadlines for both things have been pushed into February. So we have a little bit more time to talk about them, ask questions, and work on them. And so don't stress about dates, but I do want to get the information in your hands. Hopefully you also got like a lovely color-coded calendar or are using the Live app so that you can kind of see stuff that's upcoming with you. We got a lot of opportunities this winter to do some fun and some fellowship. Also some opportunities that are fundraisers for either or both of these options or for future things. 2025 will be the next National Youth Gathering. And so if we want to be working towards that, as well as fall confirmation retreats and middle school gatherings, which I know we had some middle schoolers and confirmation students that did this past fall. So a couple of those things that are kind of coming up, and I'm just going to share the screen so that you can see about them. We do have our annual trivia night that is coming up on the 25th of February. And so that is a Saturday in the evening, about 5:45 to usually goes, I'm sorry, February 24th for 2024. And so that is usually about 5:45 until maybe close to 9. I said maybe a little earlier if you could help with setup, and a little later if you want to stay for some cleanup. But that's just a great opportunity. If you can't be there because you've got other things that are going on that weekend for sports or activities, if you'd like to make a donation, a food item, like a snack that for the event, or a drink, cans of soda or something like that, that's great. If you work with a business that will support things and give away gift cards or gift certificates or promo gear or anything like that, if you'd be willing to help with soliciting some stuff for prizes, that's great. But our trivia night is a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity to bring in people that don't normally go to church and just have some intergenerational competition activity. It's really inexpensive, like $10 per person. You can buy some extra mulligans if you want to. And then we just have a good opportunity for some fun and fellowship. And so we'd love your help with that. That's coming up on the 24th. The youth are also going to be doing a couple of the Lenten suppers on the 21st and 28th of February, the second two Wednesdays, not on Ash Wednesday, but the second two Wednesdays before we get into spring break. So if you want to cook, serve, go grocery shopping in advance for us because you can't get there until 7 o'clock, that's fine. Or cleaning up, we would love your help with those kind of things. And then also we are doing some tweaks. We know a lot of you are living up in Pasco County, and the way spring break falls this year is if you are a Hillsborough County student, you kind of have spring break in the middle of March. If you're a Pasco County student, your spring break is actually during Holy Week this year. And so that last week, Easter's early, the end of March. And so we're going to be tweaking some of our normal activities to try to accommodate that. So we're going to be doing a bigger thing on Palm Sunday, March 24th, and then being less stressed with trying to do the Saturday before Easter and Easter with a lot of people out and traveling, and a lot of our families with younger kids that would normally attend those kind of things also being out for spring break. And so there's opportunities to help with that. You can check out the email for more information on that. But the couple dates that we're gearing up towards for the summer would be, and I'm going to insert my little slide here that says for June. If you are a current 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th grader, you have the opportunity for a summer servant event camp in June. If you have a student that is currently in the 2023-2024 school year, an eighth grader, they are actually going to have some choices because eighth graders will be ninth graders in the fall. And so summer is sort of the transition. And so those of you that have a student that is in eighth grade, you would actually be eligible to attend either or both if you really, really wanted to camps. And so as you're doing your summer planning, we'd encourage you to think about that. The summer camp for middle schoolers is up at Camp LutherSprings. It's in Hawthorne, Florida. And so that's just like 2 hours and 15 minutes away from here. I'm actually going to share some photos. It's just a little north of Ocala. And so the way that that one would work is that on Sunday, June 23rd at 11 o'clock church, we would all worship together, maybe have lunch together, load up the vans together, and then leave straight from church on the 23rd and be at camp Monday through Friday. Friday, we'd have lunch at camp and then come back to Messiah. And so the whole commitment would be over by like late afternoon, 3 o'clock-ish on Friday. You would be able to pick up your student. So what is Camp LutherSprings is a camp that I have been to many times for retreats and conferences since being here in Florida. It's a great facility that's got some trails, a swimming pool, archery, bigger fields, and then some interactive centers inside so that we can do big group games if the weather doesn't cooperate or something like that. And so you can look forward to some ropes courses, some archery, some swim time, and some other kind of activities. This would be like the equivalent of a confirmation camp. And so that means it would be for we would be joining with other Lutheran Church, Missouri Synod churches in Florida, meeting at this camp location. So we might bring 2 or 3 students. Another church might bring 2 or 3 students, but what we're going to have is shared belief systems, shared having gone through confirmation or currently going through confirmation. And so there would be a chance to meet other students that believe what we believe and maybe have a similar thing where there's not a ton of kids in their youth group. And so a few of us from a bunch of different places to make one larger group of about 80 or 90 students, I think is what they're hoping to have. Is going to be great. We will end up sharing in some cabins, and I actually don't have photos of the cabins at LutherSprings. It will be very similar to this. This is where the high school is at, except that it's not going to be so mountainous because theirs is in North Carolina. So this area here wouldn't be raised like that. Their cabins are flat, but you would be kind of looking at like a little porch, some bunk beds inside, and then a little bathroom, a little sitting area, and a little bathroom that is right there in that cabin, so you don't have to leave. And then like maybe 8 or 10 students would share a cabin. So if we have enough students register, that would be a cabin all our own. If we only have like 3 or 4 girls, you might share a cabin with another 3 or 4 girls from another church in Florida. Camp counselors would be there, and then I, Miss Abby, would be there for the week. And so the way that this would work is on Sunday afternoon, we drive up there. We kind of have an orientation and a get to know you thing on Sunday, as well as on Monday. We'd be doing some team building and some training. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'd be riding with me wherever we're going to do some different service projects during the day, and then kind of coming back late afternoon for some fellowship and game time, dinner and devotion, and then camping out in those tents. And then, as I said, everything would wrap up on Friday morning with lunch on Friday, and we'd be back Friday afternoon. So the deadline to register for the middle school thing is February 18th. The registration, the total of what it's going to cost is $480. If you were going to be like, hey, you couldn't make a decision because you didn't know what your summer schedule was until March, and you decide, oh, there's a group of people going, I really wanted to, and I missed the deadline. that's okay. We can still take you. It's just that the registration is going to go up to about $540 per person. Now, our expectation is not that you pay for that. Our expectation is that you make a deposit, probably about 200, saying, "Yep, I'm in," and "Yep, I've made a commitment." And that way, if I cancel, I'm going to feel it a little bit, so that where there's some incentive to be there and participate. But that 200 might be all you have to pay. And I said, certainly, if you need to make payments and not do that all at one time, we can certainly work that out. But these fundraisers like trivia night and meals and other things we have done in the past is a way that we kind of cover the costs for that. And so we would encourage you to be participating in those things. But that's what we're looking at for Camp Luther Springs for students that are kind of going to be in middle school in the fall, or maybe just finished middle school as 8th graders. And so if you've got questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me about that. And but plan on that week of June. The Vacation Bible School is going to be that first week of June, June 3 through 7. I'm going to be on vacation because my cousin is getting married that following week, and so I will be out of the office for a week in June. But we'll be back in time to take our students up there and be up there. And so we haven't had a group participate in this in the last 2 years that they have offered it, but it's been a great experience. Everybody that I know that's a youth leader that has taught middle schoolers has just said it's been great. And so I would encourage us to think about that, even if it's just 2 or 3 of us, and join with some other students for that. If you are in high school or you're an 8th grader going to be in high school in the fall, our Florida Georgia district is partnering with Camp Lutherrock, which is part of the same Lutheran camp company, and it is in North Carolina. And so we actually did take a high school trip and do this kind of trip back in 2014. I took a group of students up there for that retreat, and it was a fantastic experience. A lot of the youth that were on that trip still talk about that trip, even though they're college young adults, and have kind of stuck with it, made an impression on their faith. They're still actively involved in churches, if not here, because they moved away somewhere else, which is great. So that would be the way that's a little further away. And so the way that Florida Georgia has kind of ironed that out is that we would actually be partnering with a couple churches that we have traveled with for National Youth Gathering in the past. Faith and Wesley Chapel and Holy Trinity in South Tampa might send some students, and we would get some vans and drive together, and then meet up with other people that might be coming from South Florida or somewhere else up at camp, because that's like an 11-hour drive without any stops factored in and stuff like that. That would mean departing on Saturday, July 13th, maybe getting a few 5, 6, 7 hours of the drive done, stopping and camping out at a local church overnight, and then getting up Sunday morning and finishing the drive on the 14th. And then that would be kind of a similar format on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There'd be 3 days of service and 1 day of kind of fun and fellowship in there. And then we would be leaving on Friday, the 19th, and heading back to Florida, but not expecting to do the whole drive in 1 day, but maybe spending Friday night at Midway, maybe somewhere in Georgia, overnight, and then driving the rest of the way. So we would be getting back to Tampa on Saturday, July 20th in the late afternoon, early evening would be my guess. So that would be what we were looking for that. So if you got one of those, that's the green packet that we were given. And so part of that that came out in December. I got some bad information. So there too, our deadline is not January 21st, but the deadline for registering for that is February 18th. And it's a little more expensive because there's some transportation, but they did slash the price a little bit from even the information that I sent you in December, which is great. For this particular event, they are looking, the total cost would be $525 per person. Again, we're not asking you to do that. We're asking you to make a $250 deposit when you register. Again, if you need to break that into smaller bites because you can't do it all in January, that is fine. we can do that later. They are also providing up to 1/3 of that $525 cost as a scholarship, or we can too. And as I said, we'd be fundraising. Camp Lutherrock does have cabins, and as I said, we do have some photos to share. And so again, maybe 8 or 10 youth would be in a cabin with the counselors and myself, or for girls, or some of the boys might be with a different leader or vice versa. One of the other leaders that we're traveling with, Pastor Kurt, maybe would be in there with them. And so kind of a similar layout. These are the actual photos from Camp Lutherrock. And as I said, I've stayed in these cabins before. They are climate controlled. North Carolina is a little cooler than Florida in the summertime, so it might be one of those you're packing jeans and sweatshirts because it gets in the 60s in the evening and not quite so humid as it is here in Florida. But this would be kind of what we'd be looking at. The activities for—
Just want to talk us through a little bit what Servant Event High School Camp looks like at Lutherrock.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. So welcome to those who are on and to those who will be watching it later. I'm Missy. On my Zoom thing, it says Melissa, but that's my fancy name. Missy Bonser, and I'm the program director up here. This is my partner.
I'm Nathan Boykin, the activities director here, but handle all of our outdoor adventure and our school groups that have come up as well. So we've been to Lutherrock before. Get a lot of folks out of the Florida Georgia district. So I come up here.
Yeah, I've been middle schoolers up a million times. Love it.
And we're super excited about the idea of having your group come up. And for years we've had, like Nathan said, like a longstanding relationship with a lot of churches from Florida, a lot of school groups from Florida, and we really discovered that we can offer really kind of the best of a lot of things up here, right? Bringing people on, and they don't even have to leave the site, or there's all kinds of great adventures offsite that we can, create part of the week, rafting and caving or staying on site and rock climbing and doing rope stuff. And we've started really developing some nice partnerships with local organizations in the area to have a mission focus in a way that is not just, let's send you out and you're going to, just move rocks or pick up trash, but actually learn some things and kind of have some immersion and education and have a little heart transformation and maybe have a little bit of work as well. And so that we really got to kind of put our fingers in that this summer. And so we're super excited to see that get some traction.
First projects in like Boone, North Carolina, hospitality house where we'd be serving meals, working with residents, to organize their clothing room and stuff for people that have a need. We could end up be doing like a similar program to like a vacation Bible school program for some students in the local community, or we could be doing some wild south trail maintenance, like moving rocks and clearing debris and doing that kind of a thing for a ministry that's going on there. The fellowship opportunities would be that we would have some opportunities while we're in that area to take advantage of some of the stuff that's unique to North Carolina that Florida doesn't have,
For those who've not been at Lutherrock, what would be some of like the free time options or on-camp things that they might participate in?
So Lutherrock is about 780 acres. So there's tons of hiking. We've got multiple ropes courses at our own property. So we definitely have time where we're having the cabin groups up on ropes courses, or they're going up to Cross Rock, where there's rock climbing up there. It's about a mile hike up to the top of the property. And then we've got rock climbing event that's up there. Another thing that we do a lot of environmental education on the property as well. But it's big space, so where there's all sorts of things that we can accommodate, group games, team building, things like that.
Hiking, rock sliding, and day camp hikes at camp. And so again, similar schedule. We'd leave in the morning, be working until late in the afternoon and then have the afternoon evening free for some structured activities and fellowship. And so again, it's primarily going to be youth groups that are kind of like us, where there's just a handful of students in youth group. And so everybody kind of teaming up together to make one bigger group where we have some shared belief and shared faith systems. So those are kind of the two big things that we have coming up this summer. And so if you've got questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. We would love for you to be able to plan to do this and participate. We understand some of you haven't ever done an overnight or done a camp experience before. And so there might be some questions or concerns, and we want to make sure that you're comfortable with whatever you are experiencing. And so we want to make sure that if there's any questions or concerns, you've had an ample opportunity to ask them. It would be a thing if you have a friend that's a Christian but doesn't go to church here and they want to go with, it would be open to them. We would just have the same expectations, cost and participation and doing the meetings and stuff like that ahead of time. But so we hope that this is something we can take advantage of this summer. And if you've, as I said, got questions or concerns, let me know. But we are targeting February 18th to get that information back, either a registration form with kind of like a name, date, and a deposit check, which can be the amounts that we put on there. It could be a little bit smaller amount to start with. But we are looking forward to being able to offer this opportunity for students to grow in faith. So blessings as we start the new year here, and we will look forward to seeing you often in 2024.